the strategies the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions has employed is to work together with other criminal justice agencies, the civil society, and youth groups. So what we do is that we sensitize the youth to prevent them from committing crimes, at the same time to sensitize them on the laws and the need to obey law and order. We do that sometimes using community dialogues, but we also partner with youth groups who we use as champions of integrity in our society. One such group is Swahili Port, which is found here in Mombasa. So I will call upon Balkis Yasin, who is an administrator volunteer at Swahili Port, to come and introduce the port to us and just articulate how the criminal justice system, county governments, and individuals can work together with the country to make sure that we give the youth the hope that they want and a voice to participate in the economic development of our country. Yasin. Yasin. As we wait for her to come, the host today is the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Your Excellency, sir, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is the fastest growing agency within the criminal justice system and the government ministries as a whole. In 2010, we were only 93 prosecutors. We now have an establishment of 1,000 prosecutors in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions and 300 support staff. We are found in all the 47 countries of this nation. We have 8 regional offices, and we are found in all the 135 court stations prosecuting all offenses in all courts. Other than that, we are complemented by about 30 research officers who help us to keep abreast with the developments in law. We also every year bring in 60 interns to intern with us and to learn the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. We also take in 100 pupils every year from the Kenya School of Law to come and intern with us and to be inaugurated into the criminal justice sector. We therefore are happy to report that because of the commitment of the government, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions has put in place processes and procedures to make it more responsive and to also make the citizens have faith in us. And we have done a good job because we have opened up the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, and we are grateful as officers of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to have Mr. Nudin Haji as our DPP, because he has demystified what prosecution services is. He has not only helped the office to move forward in terms of infrastructure, but also in tools to help us carry with courage and accountability our discretion as prosecutors. We are so grateful because you have put us in safe hands, and we hope we'll continue to do so and to help our country. With those few remarks, sir, I wish to call upon the DPP. Okay. And sir, maybe I should also mention that in the last 4 years, although we are moving fast and we are getting a lot of support from the government, but we are the only government institution that has had a clean audit report and qualified. Thank you so much, sir. DPP.
Thank you. I think, Your Excellency, with your permission, as we wait for the young fellows, I will ask that there was a video, SPP, that was meant to be played, a welcoming video. We can do that, please.
Welcome to Kenya, undisputedly one of the world's most magical countries. From the plains to the savannah, the iconic melting sunset to the silhouette of the acacia trees. This is Kenya. This land sired African Nobel laureate Wangari Maathai and continues to nurture the indomitable world marathon runners.
Kipchoge storms into the history books in Vienna.
more than 45 national parks, game reserves, animal sanctuaries, and over 100 conservancies. Home to unique and diverse wildlife offering breathtaking safaris. The Masai Mara, one of the modern wonders of the world, is home to the Great Wildebeest Migration. The Great Migration of wildebeest across the Mara River is one of the most phenomenal natural spectacles in the world. The sheer sight of the animal herds crossing the crocodile-infested river will leave you with unforgettable memories. With white sandy beaches, sparkling blue ocean waters, and the celebrated Swahili culture, the Kenyan coast is an unforgettable experience. The 4th International Association of Prosecutors and the East Africa Association of Prosecutors Conference is being held here in Mombasa, the country's largest coastal city. Lamu is the oldest. The city of Mombasa was the first port of call when the Portuguese and Arabs first came to East Africa. The Vasco da Gama Pillar and Fort Jesus bear witness to the rich history of this coastal city. Today, Kenya's coast remains a multicultural melting pot, drawing people from all over the world. It is a major commercial hub for regional and international trade. We are more interconnected than ever before. In a digital and globalized world, crime is also evolving. Criminal groups are creating more complex networks that have no boundaries. From terrorism, drug and human trafficking to cryptocurrency, money laundering, and cross-border environmental crimes.
We were facing a situation where every day there was almost a wildlife trafficking case. So much so in Kenya we had to have a court set up at the airport just to try and fast track the hearing of some of these cases.
As prosecutors, just remember you are gatekeepers to the criminal justice system. It is not the investigator, it is you. And so the way that you let cases in or don't let cases in, or when you let those cases into that system, it must be done according to a very objective, clinical, forensic approach to these cases.
This year's conference is an opportunity for prosecutors from different jurisdictions to network and share experiences, to work together to develop prosecutorial standards that will outpace complex transnational organized crimes. As prosecutors, we will continue to take on challenges and turn them into opportunities. Together, we will innovate laws and strengthen the criminal justice system. Together, we will step up on the war on transnational organized crime because our continent deserves better, and we can do better.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the IAP 4th Regional Conference of Africa and the Indian Ocean, an East African Association of Prosecutors Extraordinary General Meeting. The theme of the conference, effective mechanism for responding to emerging crimes and transnational organized crimes in Africa, country experiences and challenges, reaffirms our commitment to combating emerging and transnational organized crimes. I hope that this conference gives us an opportunity to network, share best practices, develop strategies, and build partnership towards combating emerging and transnational organized crimes. I thank you all for coming, and I encourage you to enjoy the white sandy beaches and rich history and culture that Mombasa has to offer. Karibuni sana.
Karibuni Mombasa. Karibuni Kenya.
Thank you. Yasin is now here, and I will let her take the stage.
This is fine? Okay. Distinguished guests, all protocols duly observed. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Shikamo. Karibuni Mombasa. My name is Balkis Yasin. I am a volunteer at Swahili Port Hub Foundation. Swahili Port Hub Foundation, to the wide and vast metropolitan Mombasa that we serve, means an array of things. But at the core of our essence, we are a youth-oriented and managed safe space. We are gracefully hosted at the core of the Swahili culture by the government of Kenya and at the National Museums of Kenya. We provide a platform for young people who are interested in their self-development and solving social and structural issues to build their capacities and better their skills at bridging the gap of the 44% of unemployment rate in Mombasa. Now, I could stand here and bore you with my numbers because, trust me, I have quite a few. But I'd like to walk you through 2 short stories of young women who have passed through the gates of Swahili Port. I choose young women because it is a representation that in every 10 young people who walk into Swahili Port, 7 of them are young women from Mombasa. The first story is of Marietta, who in 2018 freshly graduated from university and was faced with a reality that is job security in Kenya, or the lack of it thereof. Marietta chose to volunteer at the first Pwani Innovation Week and not only harnessed networks, honed her skills, but dove headfirst into the various IT programs that we host at the Hub. Today, Marietta stands as one of the very many young people who, under the project by Ajira Digital under the Ministry of ICT, Innovations and Technology, in partnership with the Judiciary of Kenya, are transcribing and are digitizing our judicial proceedings. She's employed, she is skilled, and she has a better tomorrow. Another case study is our beloved Kasnadia Ahmed, who through her time before she assumed national office, gave back to the society by enlightening young people like me with public speaking classes. We have been able to reach 40,000 young people in Mombasa, both physically and virtually. I stand here as a representation of a young person in Mombasa, and I would like to offer my deepest gratitudes to the national government of Kenya through their various arms, specifically under the Ministry of Culture, Heritage and Sports, the Ministry of ICT, and the Office of the DPP. We are humbled and are grateful for your continued and consistent support to the young people. With me here today, I have a throng of thespians, talented and ready not only to showcase their talent, but to give us tidbits into their art. As we learn about cybersecurity, I hope that when we go home, we are a beacon of hope to several other young people. Karibuni Mombasa, karibuni Swahili Port, enjoy.
In every village, there is a madman. And in the global village, that is the internet. It is a mad, mad world. From pedophiles who lure our kids to international hackers. And we all know what they bring, right? Sure, the internet has its pros, but the cons, Cybercrimes are rising daily. And to keep up, we can barely. The number of times they get busted, barely. And I know you have your stats and your numbers, but spare me. Now, there are instances in life where we can curse. For instance, with the situation of the students in this campus.
Oh, very nice. Oh, good. Thank you so much. She's so stressed, huh? She's so stressed. No. She can never be fine. Like, how does she be fine? These triggers that you have been seeing here. Have you seen them? Now you don't be fine today, not tomorrow. mean today and tomorrow and the other day should never be right. They never. Now let me tell you. Have you seen the pictures that have been posted online?
What pictures are you talking about?
Oh my God. It was one I've never seen. Look at this. Oh, the pictures. Oh. Now look at this one too.
Oh, you're not even embarrassed yourself. How did these pictures get online? Okay. I happened to break up with my boyfriend. Now I woke up with these pictures online. I just don't know what to do.
You should have told me, eh? You know, if you're...
Kolo!
John, how would you?
Please, I have an unfinished business with Kolo. We shall discuss our issues later. Kolo.
What business are you talking about?
Kolo, what about our business?
Which business are you talking about?
Kolo, this is not time to be funny.
Johnny. You know, I do several business around here, eh? Now, right. I sell books, huh? I sell kidneys. And I sell clothes.
In fact, you know the blazer that you sold for me the other day was even tattered.
Oh, the top. But that top was very new. But never mind about that. I have a new dress. Straight from Philippines. I'll give it to you. Now, we'll talk about the business later on, yeah? Everything is business and money. Now, John, this business that you're talking about, is it about cryptocurrency or
Exactly! The Bitcoin stuff. This is not funny. You're the one who told me that I should invest in Bitcoin. I lost all my school fees. How am I supposed to explain to my parents that
you joined Bitcoin?
Of course I did.
Oh, did you join?
As if I'm down with you guys.
Oh, did you join? She never joined, huh? Did you join? Of course you did. Now, who is the dumb one here? Him, huh?
How am I supposed to explain to my mom that I lost all my school fees? Everything that I had, I lost it.
Oh, so Johnny lost everything, huh? And you're busy posting and posting. You know, I saw some information from the internet, huh? And after further addition, subtraction, contradiction, and whatever that begins and ends with short. I liked it. Now, I like the gentleman that has become.
What do you mean? So losing money in Bitcoin, does that prompt you to that I'm a good gentleman?
Right? I'm not talking about that, John. You know, you're a very good person, huh? I like... Look at these pictures. Look at this one. Look at this one. Wait first.
Wait.
And I like this more. John.
You're the only one who had those pictures. How could you betray me like that, John?
I'm not the one who posted these pictures.
Like,
Who did?
I don't know what happened.
You're the only person I saw with those pictures.
I'm not the one who posted them.
now, who posted them? It is you now you're pretending that you did not want to entertain us. You're the entertainer.
Kolo, this is not funny!
So, but that's the next, yeah? That is enough metaphor. You know, I really appreciate you for this dancing movement that you have been spreading. Have you seen the picture?
What pictures?
Hey, and you have a smartphone. Oh my God. Hey, in this campus and you have a smartphone. And I've never seen the picture. Let me show you them. Prepare.
Show me the picture.
Okay, I'm showing you. Now, this is this one. This one. Don't scroll. Scroll up, you can be there.
Oh my goodness. This is Jen.
It's Jen.
Jen. What is this? Who posted them?
This one.
No, I'm not the one.
It was you.
It was you.
Where? It was
Babe.
Don't baby me.
Don't baby us. Sorry, babe.
I'm not the one who posted these pictures. I can explain.
Who did?
Please, just give me a moment to explain. Okay, I don't know, like someone goes into my account and cannot even access my own account.
Oh, really?
No, guys, it's okay. No, at times it happens. Hackers are everywhere. And we are the most targeted group, the youth, because we get to just click any link. We have safe and unsafe links. So maybe you click to the unsafe link, okay? But we have a solution. We have a two-factor verification. It secures your account. Also make sure when you're visiting your account, you log out from your account, okay? There is nothing to do. But there's so many other ways to solve this. You can research on how to secure your account so that this never happens again because the internet never forgets.
So you don't post them. You know, I don't believe this. You entertain, are you?
That's not funny. That's not.
Si tuliacha kwenda library siku hizi kusoma books, tunaenda live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, ways more hata kuliko the actual kilograms. With our data on and Wi-Fi, we browse a lot. With Wi-Fi, forget even our wives at home. That's not fair. But with this new technology and development, technology is a lot. We have a lot of technologies and we love it. It's beautiful, right? But technology and internet imetusaidia tufanye kazi online. We work online most times. Imetusaidia tufanye a lot of things online. We study online, work online, but still from people through online. Still people con people through online. People wamepoteza maisha yao kutupitia online mpaka kufanya mali zao tungine zimeisha. So technology is good, but we have bad people online. So to be safe, we need cybersecurity. Maybe I'm not a computer wizard, but I need to hack this piece. I'm just a poet. Thank you.
A round of applause again for them. Your Excellency the President, we wish to inform you that our DPP of Kenya, though we are a young office, young leadership, we have taken up leadership in the East African Association of Prosecutors, African Association of Prosecutors, and International Association of Prosecutors. And in bringing best practices, you can see how our colleagues have honored us with their presence today to work together with us because we are riding on your shoulders. With those few remarks, it is my singular opportunity and privilege to welcome the DPP to speak to us and to officially welcome his guests.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I have the honor of inviting the Attorney General of Ghana to say a few words, very few words in 2 minutes because of the time constraints. Please.
Your Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya, permit me to stand on the existing protocol for want of time. I bring you warm greetings from the Republic of Ghana, popularly described as a blaster of Africa. And in Ghana, I would like to commend our host country, the Republic of Kenya, for her excellent work in organizing the conference. We appreciate the sound arrangement you have put together to make the event a success and for us to enjoy the historic city of Mombasa. Respectfully, I say that the unified effort to root out the multiple transnational organized crimes such as human trafficking, arms trafficking, corruption, and money laundering, drug trafficking, trafficking of illegal animal and plant produce, deserve the fullest support around the continent. The quest to, in a concerted way, identify modern trends in the commission of transnational crimes in Africa and address the challenges posed by same is a poignant manifestation of the reality that as Africans, we swim in one boat. Indeed, the belief that our destinies as African countries are linked could not have been truer at any time than now. It is ready to state that development in communication and information technology have greatly enhanced the efficiency with which legitimate groups and individuals interact. Unfortunately, in the same way, the benefits of digital technology have also not been lost on criminal organizations. It has resulted in what I describe as an organized criminal exploitation of the fruits of digital technology. Contemporary transnational criminals have taken advantage of globalization, trade liberalization, and exploding new technologies to perpetrate diverse crimes and to move money, goods, services, and people instantaneously for purposes of committing violence and other crimes, even for political ends. In my respectful view, the most serious and urgent transnational offenses Africa is faced with are financial crimes, corruption, and money laundering. The actual magnitude of corruption can be seen in the misallocation of resources, the inefficiencies in the operation of establishment, and the violations of human rights. The manifestations of corruption are increasingly getting complex, as it often occurs with the aid of a variety of professional enablers, such as accountants, lawyers, bankers, real estate agents, shell companies, and opaque financial systems that provide an opportunity for the laundering and concealment of illicit wealth. As you all may know, Ghana sits at the heart of an important West African trafficking route extending to the north and eastern parts of Africa. This route is not only important for people traffickers who use Ghana as a transit point for West Africans subjected to sex trafficking in Europe, but also the growing trade in drugs, artifacts, and wildlife. It is therefore necessary for West Africa to borrow a leaf from East African countries by finding new ways of collaborating across borders that will improve not only our chances of catching the bad guys, but also stem the growth of organized transnational crimes that pose a threat to institutions of justice and wreck the lives and dignity of millions across the world. Indeed, the launch of the African Continental Free Trade Area, whilst presenting Africa with its greatest opportunity to show to the world the strength of its potential and the entrepreneurial spirit of the people, has unleashed a new set of transnational crime issues. These take the form of regional security concerns, migratory problems, and social integration challenges, as well as the good old phenomenon of corruption and other environmental challenges. It is my conviction that the discussions at this conference will lead to the development of a solid legal system for Africa capable of rising to the complexity of modern-day transnational crime. Undoubtedly, a robust legal system underpinned by the rule of law goes hand in hand with economic prosperity. A justice system that guarantees all elements of the rule of law and effectively combats all kinds of crime will necessarily produce a sound business operating environment for the African continent, characterized by transparency, certainty, and fairness. Thus, the need to strengthen criminal justice must sit right at the top of our developmental agenda in Africa. Our justice system must be so efficient that the criminals and suspected criminal groups are deprived of their assets so as to reduce the impact of their actions and the inspiration they serve to others on the continent. Crime must not be rewarding. Thank you very much. Thank you for it.
Thank you. I now call upon the Attorney General of Egypt, the Vice Attorney General of Egypt, and the President of the Association, African Association of Prosecutors, to come and say a few words. Maybe somebody to translate from his office can accompany. 2 minutes.
سيادة رئيس جمهورية كينيا.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya. No. Thanks.
السادة الحضور.
Ladies and gentlemen.
يسعدني أن أنقل إليكم تحيات السيد المستشار النائب العام المصري رئيس جمعية النواب العموم الأفارقة.
I'm pleased to convey to your honor the greetings of His Excellency the Attorney General of Egypt, the head of the APA.
وأعتذر بالنيابة عنه عن عدم حضور فعاليات هذا المؤتمر الهام نظرا لظروف العمل.
And apologize that he wasn't able to attend this important event due to work reasons.
كما أود أن أتقدم بالشكر والتقدير إلى دولة كينيا.
And I would like to convey our thanks and honor to the country of Kenya.
وفخامة رئيس الجمهورية الكينية
and His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya
على حفاوة الاستقبال والاستضافة
for the amazing reception and hosting.
فالتعاون الدائم بين شعوبنا في كافة المجالات
the constant cooperation between our people in all fields
كان ولا يزال السمة البارزة لعلاقتنا التاريخية
was and will always be the main feature of our historical relationships.
ونيابة عن جمعية العموم جمعية النواب العموم الأفارقة
and on behalf of the African Association of Public Prosecutors
نسمن جهود النيابة العامة الكينية
we truly value all the efforts of the Kenyan Public Prosecution
وسيادة النائب العام الكيني
and His Excellency the Director of the Public Prosecution of Kenya
وكذا جمعية النواب العموم لدول شرق أفريقيا
and also the Association for Public Prosecution of East Africa
الذين يبذلون جهودا عظيمة في مختلف المجالات
that have their great efforts in all the fields that related to their work.
فإذا كان هدفنا واحد وهو مكافحة الجريمة
And if our general goal is to combat crime
ودعم سيادة القانون وتحقيق العدالة
and to support the rule of law and achieve justice,
فإن جهودنا في هذا الصدد تتكاتف لا تتعارض ولا تتداخل.
So our efforts in this regard complement each other. They don't contradict or intervene.
تكمل بعضها البعض فنقف جميعا وحدة واحدة لتحقيق أهدافنا المشتركة.
They support and complement each other, so we stand as a one unit to achieve our common goals.
كما أن الرابط الذي يجمعنا
Also the tie that bound us all
إنما هو رابط إقليمي وتاريخي قوي وعتيد
is a strong regional and historical one.
فتتماثل مشكلاتنا وتبرز الحلول المشتركة القائمة على التفاهم
And our problems are similar, and the common and similar solution arises that are based on understanding, common understanding.
والمصلحة الواحدة سبيلنا لنجاحنا ووسيلة لدعم وتقوية علاقاتنا.
And the common interests act as a main way for our success and a tool to support our relationship and strengthen them.
وفي النهاية أشكر سيادتكم فخامة الرئيس كما أشكر السادة الحضور شكرا جزيلا.
In the end, I would like to thank Your Excellency and all the attendees.
Thank you. Your Excellency, I will now call upon the DPP Tanzania, Mr. Mwakitalu, who is also the President of the East African Association of Prosecutors.
Your Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya, Cabinet Secretaries who are present, my fellow prosecutors, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm greatly honored and indeed abundantly privileged to have been accorded the opportunity to make a brief remark at this gathering of eminent prosecutors from the African and Indian Ocean under the auspice of the International Association of Prosecutors and East Africa Association of Prosecutors. Your Excellency, let me also take this opportunity to thank Your Excellency for having found time to grace this occasion. We know you are busy schedule, but you have spent time to be with us today. We all have known that you are very busy. This is more reason to be thankful for Your Excellency. Your Excellency, Prosecutors from East African region and their counterpart in the African and Indian Ocean region are meeting to discuss and deliberate on matter of common concern under the theme of effective mechanism to respond to emerging crime and transnational organized crime in Africa, country experience and the challenges. On behalf of the East African Association of Prosecutors, allow me to briefly highlight on historical background and the objectives of our association. Your Excellency, it is a common ground that the spike of cross-border crimes has led to the devastating effects across the globe. Technological advances and the movement of people and goods have enabled criminals to safely operate across national borders. Over time, it becomes apparent that effort of prosecution authorities in our region remained fragmented and disintegrated, and the criminal syndicates have exploited on operational gaps and incoherent working relationship among our countries. Guided by the Treaty for Establishment of East Africa Community, which requires member states to enhance cooperation in handling of cross-border crimes and provision of mutual assistance in criminal matters, heads of prosecution authorities in the Eastern African region decided to establish the association, hence establishment of the East Africa Association of Prosecutors. Just like the other regional association, Your Excellencies, main objective of this association is to enhance cooperation in handling of criminal cross-border crimes, provision of mutual assistance in criminal matters. This includes arrest and repatriation of fugitive offenders and the exchange of information. Since its inception, the association has strived to bring the Eastern Africa region together in pursuit of peace and security through assisting one another in ending impunity of all kinds. Our efforts have been abridged through the close cooperation we have. The bond we have created has assisted us in collecting evidence of cases that are of great concern within the region and the repatriation of fugitive offenders. Moreover, we have been instrumental in helping one another in ensuring that criminals do not benefit from their ill-gotten wealth by cooperating in tracing, freezing, and confiscating their assets within the region. As the East African Association of Prosecutors, we reaffirm our commitments in discharging this noble goal and reiterate our unreserved support in advancing crime prevention, criminal justice, and the rule of law. We further express our assurance in fostering international cooperation through mutual legal assistance to combat transnational organized crimes and illicit financial fraud. Your Excellency, the President, my fellow prosecutors, and the invited guests, thank you very much for listening to me. Mheshimiwa Rais, asante sana na kwa heshima naomba kuwasilisha.
Thank you. Your Excellency, I now call upon the DPP Mauritius, Mr. Bolel, who is also the Vice President of the International Association of Prosecutors in charge of Africa and the Indian Ocean region.
Your Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya, fellow prosecutors, let me start by and reiterate what I conveyed to the DPP Nordin yesterday by thanking you personally, the government of the Republic of Kenya and the people of Kenya for the warm hospitality that you have extended to us. This is a memorable moment for us, and we are pleased that you are amongst us today. It is your presence is a clear signal of your commitment to the rule of law. And under your treasured and precious leadership of Kenya, Kenya's democracy is one of the most vibrant and competitive. You have also shown magnanimity by building bridges with all components of the Kenyan society. Your Constitution, Excellency, entrenches the rule of law and the separation of powers. It guarantees the independence of both the judiciary and the office of the DPP. And one of the vital conditions for this independence is the security of tenure, which ensures that in the discharge of their duties, they are both, judiciary and the DPP, they are both shielded from any external influence. The DPP of Kenya, my very good friend Nordin, has set prosecutorial best practices, which today reverberate across Africa. The ODPP of Kenya is highly regarded for its proactive role in ensuring access to justice and in its endeavor to ensure that the citizens, and we have just had an example just now, that in its endeavor to ensure that the citizen understands the role of the prosecutorial office in the administration of justice, and in return, enjoy the trust, faith in that institution. And that is very important. I stand here not only as DPP of Mauritius, but also as Vice President of the International Association of Prosecutors, whose aim and objectives, inter alia, are to promote effective, fair, and impartial prosecution of criminal offenses, the respect for the rule of law, the promotion of human rights, and of course, international cooperation amongst all of us, which makes us less vulnerable and better equipped to fight crime. Our deliberation in this conference so far has amply demonstrated the importance of close collaboration at regional, inter-regional, and global level. I am glad to announce that DPP Nordin is soon joining the executive committee of the International Association of the Prosecutors. And alongside Uganda, South Africa, Cameroon, and Djibouti, there's no doubt that the voice of Africa will echo at the global platform. On a more personal note, Your Excellency, I would like to say that the people of Mauritius are deeply grateful to the Republic of Kenya for the proactive role that it played when we had our litigation before the International Court of Justice on the Chagos Archipelago. And I know that Your Excellency personally saw to it that there was the support of Kenya on behalf of the African Union did not go amiss. And it made a whole difference. And this is a good example. When Africa stands together, we are stronger and we make progress. It is significant that your presence here is very symbolic, very important, because you have come to lend support to a community of prosecutors. And I can tell you, many politicians don't like to be friends with prosecutors. But your presence here touches us at the heart, because you acknowledge the crucial and vital role of prosecutors in the administration of justice. So, and we know your busy schedule, and thank you for your presence, Excellency. And I must say that I have to repeat that your late father was a great friend of our late Prime Minister, both fathers of the nation, and it's been a very constructive and fruitful collaboration. So I wish that we expand more of this and play an important role in a world where geopolitics is back, in an ocean where geopolitics are fighting each other with different nations at our doorstep. And let me end, Your Excellency, by saying that may the Republic of Kenya be a shining light for the whole of Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bolel. I'm sure with all the praises that you've heaped on me, I will get a pay rise, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, fellow Directors of Public Prosecutions, Attorney Generals, and Prosecutor Generals, distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Your Excellency, it is indeed my singular pleasure and honor to stand here and acknowledge the presence of all the prosecutors from across this continent and beyond who have gathered here to enhance international cooperation in combating transnational organized crime. Your support, Your Excellency, and encouragement is strongly demonstrated by Your Excellency's personal presence here this morning. It is no secret that Your Excellency's diary has in the past been extremely crowded with a number of important and essential engagements. For your information, fellow colleagues, His Excellency flew directly from the UAE on Tuesday to Kisumu, yet His Excellency has found time to grace this event personally. Your Excellency, this demonstrates your emphatic affirmation of the work of the Association of Prosecutors. We are truly humbled and grateful for that gracious gesture by Your Excellency, and know that it ultimately has a positive impact on the overall management of law and order and serves the public interest. For the last 2 days, Your Excellency, the International Association of Prosecutors' 4th Regional Conference for Africa and Indian Ocean and the East African Association of Prosecutors Conference has engaged in deep deliberation and shared experiences aimed at improving prosecution and investigations of international organized crimes under the theme Effective Mechanism for Responding to Emerging and Transnational Crimes, Country Challenges and Experiences. Your Excellency, 30 countries from across the continent are represented in this curriculum, bringing together a broad scope of knowledge and an unprecedented depth of experience in one room. Allow me, Your Excellency, to acknowledge them. We have amongst us, of course, the DPP of Mauritius, Honorable Satyajit Bolel. We also have Mr. Mwakitalo Sylvester Anthony, the DPP Tanzania. We have Justice Abodo Jane Francis, DPP Uganda. We have Mr. Amabel Havugiriami, Prosecutor General Javier, and Treasurer of the EAP. We have Mr. Chol Deng Adija, DPP South Sudan. We have Mr. Nkezabahizi Francois, Deputy Prosecutor General Burundi. We have Mr. Wesson Gep Mwanchwe, Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions Botswana. We have Victor Mukomo Mumba, Prosecutor General DRC. We have Honorable George Saab Salib, Deputy Prosecutor General Egypt. We have Mr. Yusuf Jamwe Said, Director International Corporations from Office of the Attorney General of Ethiopia. We have Dame Godfrey Yabor, Attorney General of Ghana, accompanied by Madam Atakura Obubisa, DPP Ghana. We have Mr. Martins Domingos, President of the Union of Magistrates of the Public Ministry of Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Bissau. We have Dr. Stephen Kayuni, DPP Malawi. We have Dr. Olinda Noe Kosa, the Deputy Attorney General, Mozambique. We have Mr. Ian Mwinga Malumani, Chief Legal Officer, Namibia. We have Mr. Abubakar Mohamed Babadokor, Federal DPP, Nigeria. We have Mr. Frank Ali, Attorney General, Seychelles. We have Mr. Mohammed M. Mohammed, Senior Legal Advisor, Attorney General, Somalia. We have Khalif Ahmed, the Attorney General of Sudan. We have Madam Thelma Mumba, the Chief State Advocate of Zambia. We have Madam Salma Ali Hassan, DPP, Zanzibar. We have Madam Rose Takuva, Chief Public Prosecutors, Zimbabwe. Of course, we have Mr. Han Morada, the IIP Secretary General, who was with us. We have Madam Tomika Patterson, who is a resident legal advisor, USDOJ, Department of Justice. We have Madam Jennifer Riddle, the British High Commission. We have Mr. Theuri, who is the LSK President of the Law Society of Kenya. We have Mr. Ogeto, who is the Solicitor General, Mr. Saitoti, the Director General, FRC, and Justice Kairu, Court of Appeal Judge. While we have heard from each other, time has come when we should listen to the consumers of our services, Your Excellency. More significantly, we could benefit from the wisdom of those at the apex of the government. It is for this reason that the presence of Your Excellency is truly pivotal. Your government's commitment has accorded the ODPP an opportunity to play its rightful role in the justice sector, nationally, regionally, continentally, and internationally, as an independent office. This has allowed us to form a strong foundation upon which the office has realized to a great extent the key tenets of our Constitution, which include independence, impartiality, integrity, accountability, objectivity, promotion of the rule of law, and the protection of human rights. The aforementioned principles are not only core values in our Constitution, but also in tandem with the SDG 16, which seeks to uphold peace, justice, and strong institutions. Indeed, Your Excellency, a strong criminal justice institution are the bedrock of the rule of law and due process, its critical anchor. Your Excellency, I'm pleased to inform you that the ODPP Kenya is an active member of the International Association of Prosecutors, the Africa Prosecutors Association, and the East African Association of Prosecutors, whose objectives are to promote the principles and standards mentioned above. Through your government's support, the ODPP budget allocation has progressively increased in turn, allowing us to enhance our capacity and promote access to justice through various administrative and operational initiatives, such as automation of our systems, processes, and procedures, increased recruitment of staff, increased conviction rates on transnational organized crimes such as corruption and terrorism cases, among others, improved terms and conditions of service for the ODPP staff, policy formulations such as the development of the decision to charge, plea bargaining, and diversion guidelines, amongst others, and the operationalization of the Prosecution Training Institute, envisaged to be a center of excellence for prosecutorial skills and knowledge enhancement. Your Excellency, globalization and technological advancements have and continue to attract transnational organized and emerging crimes. Consequently, better investments and enhanced strategic interventions are key for successful investigation and prosecution. Indeed, your government's commitment to waging war against corruption by allocating resources and making strategic investments has resulted in a positive impact on the fight against emerging and transnational crimes. Allow me, Your Excellency, to briefly highlight how your support has been instrumental in making these positive impacts. Your government's investment in strengthening and bolstering the criminal justice actors to effectively carry out our mandate cannot be gainsaid. Your government has strengthened the National Police Service and funded their return to effective operational strength. It is common knowledge that an effective police service is a prerequisite for the criminal justice system to function. Your Excellency, in addition, you have not only secured funding that has allowed robust capacity building that is critical to the operations of the criminal justice actors, but also ensured political goodwill to the operations of the National Police Service, the EACC, the Immigration Service, NEMA, KEBS, Kenya Wildlife Service, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, IPOA, which is the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, the FRC, and other constitutional and statutory offices. Due to this institutional operating with enhanced capabilities made possible by your government has in turn managed to mount the largest and most sustained fight against corruption in our nation's history. This will be an undeniable legacy of your administration. The deliberations that commenced yesterday have set the tone for increased regional engagements and cooperation aimed at tackling transnational organized and emerging crimes. Our sessions has thus far demonstrated the need for frequent and continuous interagency and multilateral engagements that can bridge the gaps identified. We have committed ourselves to deepening our collaborations and cooperation in tackling transnational crimes through joint seminars, sharing of best practices, training, and establishment of mutual legal assistance and extradition frameworks. Allow me, Your Excellency, to acknowledge and thank our partners, who include the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, United Nations Office of Project Services, United Nations Office, Drugs and Crime, UNODC, Attorney General's Alliance, AGA Africa, AMLTHB Projects in Africa, International Association of Prosecutors, East African Association of Prosecutors, for working with the ODPP in the realization of this conference. Special thanks to the High Court Judge, Honorable Stephen Kairu, and Solicitor General Kennedy Ogeto, who have been with us all through. And Your Excellency, we wish to also thank the government of Kenya for giving us this support and your personal presence here today. Once again, I thank you for gracing this conference and your continued efforts and support in advancing the rule of law. Indeed, Your Excellency, your support exceeds the boundaries of our nation. It is regional, continental, international too, as highlighted by your presence here today. Thank you and God bless. I now take the pleasure to invite the Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, who will then welcome Your Excellency. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, the Honorable Mr. Nuruddin Haji, the Director, Office of the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, the Vice President of the International Association of Prosecutors, the President of the East African Association of Prosecutors, colleagues from the African Association of Prosecutors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, this is your day, so I'll not last more than a minute next to this microphone, but allow me, because we have an historical moment in this country where this meeting is taking place, to say this. In the last about 4.5 years, while I've been Minister for Interior and Coordination of National Government, I've had occasion to attend about 3 or 4 of these meetings. The African meeting, the East African meeting, invited by the Honorable DPP. And this one is bigger, better, more organized, and more focused. What's happening here, if we have to be blunt and honest, is testament to the wonderful work that the Office of the Directorate of Public Prosecution, and particularly Mr. Haji and his team, have done. Truth be told, Your Excellency, when you took the oath of office in 2013, there wasn't so much to write home about in terms of institutionalization of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. What has happened over the years is a tribute to your solid leadership. And I have had the opportunity as a member of the National Security Council to sit on the front row seat to witness how you have personally insisted that we allocate resources and support the intense institutionalization of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. And we can see it, Your Excellency. If we had time, which we don't, I would have enumerated to these wonderful people how the Training Institute came into being, how you personally ensured that the DPP has got resources to build an institution, to train prosecutors, and so on and so forth. Finally, The strength of governance institutions anywhere in the world is testament to the political will of the leaders of that country. We are here because of your leadership, because of the political will provided by the office of the President. Your Excellency, if you didn't pay personal attention and you didn't attend to this, it simply would not happen. Or if you didn't decide to attend to the rule of law, it will not happen. So, on my own behalf, first of all, and on behalf of my colleagues in the security sector, on behalf of my brother, the Honorable the Attorney General, retired Justice Gihara Kariuki, who could not be here for reasons beyond his control, but is very ably represented here by the Solicitor General, Mr. Ogeto. And on behalf of all of us, we want to thank you for what you have done for our country and what that is doing to the region and to the rest of the world. And as we move forward, we hope to sustain, all of us, the spirit of multi-agents that you started yourself by creating institutional synergies and mechanisms of putting institutions together to support the rule of law in our country. Nothing could be better than this in terms of fighting some of the challenges that we face in our country, some of which have threatened our development in the past. It's therefore a great moment to be here. And ladies and gentlemen, it's now my distinct pleasure and honor to request you to be upstanding as I invite His Excellency, our President, to speak to us and officially open the meeting. Your Excellency, the President.
Thank you, Fred. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Honorable Attorney Generals present and Directors of Public Prosecution, all partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Let me begin by saying how happy I am to join you today at this 4th edition of the Regional Conference of African and Indian Ocean Prosecutors, alongside your extraordinary general meeting of the East African Association of Prosecutors. Let me join my colleagues in welcoming you warmly to this beautiful city of Mombasa. And indeed, it is my hope that you will also take time to experience the ambience, comfort, tranquility, and the warmth of the people of this great city while you are here. So to get to the point, ladies and gentlemen, we convene here today to reaffirm our shared commitment to combat emerging transnational organized crimes such as terrorism, corruption, drug trafficking, money laundering, counterfeiting and smuggling, and offenses against wildlife, and also our cultural property. But allow me, before we delve into these 3 substantive reflections, the subject of this conference, let me contextualize the reality that we are all confronted with. Indeed, with the dawn of the new millennium, crime as we knew it has dramatically changed and expanded into new frontiers. Less than 2 decades ago, cybercrime was a niche concern. Cryptocurrency was still an abstract concept, and the manipulation of digital resources to facilitate or obscure real-world crimes was relatively rare. Today, 2022, criminals and their networks are utilizing advances in our technology and our increased interconnectivity to advance their agenda. At both local and international stages, our laws and justice processes are playing catch-up in the face of emerging crimes and also expansion of traditional crimes into new frontiers. And I believe that this is a realization that informs this conference that you hold here today. These shifts are a result of globalization and technology, and we have all felt the ripple effects of change, and that is why the theme, I believe, of this 4th edition is most apt and timely. I'm informed that the objective of this week's conference was to review effective mechanisms for responding to emerging crimes and transnational organized crimes across the African continent. Premised on a framework of shared learning, the theme invites all of us to reflect on the need for innovation in our strategies, interventions, as well as our respective operations. But more importantly, the theme also demands of us to rededicate ourselves to our global commitments to combat transnational organized crime, and to do so collectively in a collaborative manner, but to also do so innovatively and in a manner that nonetheless always upholds our fundamental values. And so the key question we should ask ourselves is why nations should invest their efforts and resources in this endeavor. Available estimates by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime indicate that annually illicit revenues and proceeds of crime equal more than $2 trillion globally. Africa itself loses roughly $88.8 billion in illegal financial flows each year, which is equivalent to 3.7% of our continent's GDP. In effect, our continent loses more wealth each year than it gains by at least $40 billion. This empirical evidence demonstrates clearly why the war against corruption, and indeed transnational organized crime, is a worthy investment for our governments. The resources Africa is losing would otherwise greatly benefit our development agenda and enable us to create an even more glorious future for our citizens. So what we have seen as our success and what anchors us in this war? I think firstly, it is the deliberate adoption of a multi-agency approach, which we have done here in Kenya. Transnational crimes cannot be tackled without cross-institutional as well as cross-border cooperation. Transnational organized crime networks continue to exploit legitimate public institutions established to support financial and business services. Preventing and containing transnational organized crime therefore demands a concentrated cooperative effort by all actors in the prevention, investigation, prosecution, and asset recovery segments of the justice chain. And it is critical that we maintain open dialogue, both formal and informal, and continue working in close partnership. And the Kenyan government is and will remain a committed as well as an active participant in these engagements. As a region, we have also adopted bilateral and multilateral arrangements with the objective of mutually investigating and prosecuting emerging transnational crimes. To facilitate this, criminal justice systems across the region must adopt a proactive approach to identifying, tracing, freezing, as well as confiscating funds and proceeds of crime, and to remove the financial incentive and monetary benefits of crime, this will ensure our success. So through you, Bwana Chairman, I want to laud the efforts made by the East African Association of Prosecutors to expand the scope of membership and cooperation to the wider East African region in recognition of a need to strengthen regional cooperation in the investigation and prosecutions of transnational organized crime. These structures have similarly been replicated amongst investigative, intelligence, and asset recovery agencies whose deliberate cooperative framework begins in country before expanding in the region. The next point is that we recognize that due to the complex and constantly evolving nature of crime, continuous education and training are ancillary to boosting and bolstering our areas of expertise and knowledge in the identification and prevention of criminal activity. Our ability to deliver justice is not evolving, unfortunately, as quickly as the criminal's capacity to evade justice, and this we have seen. It is in line with this objective that Kenya has continuously enhanced our budgetary allocation to criminal justice agencies like the Office, the Public Prosecutor, and our investments in this sector have allowed for the establishment of training facilities such as the ODPP Prosecution and Training Institute, which provides continuous training for prosecutors and other criminal justice actors. The Institute also serves as an institution for legal development and resource building, and a key element for the reform and improvement of our prosecutorial practices within the East African region and also Africa at large. A further effective strategy has involved the use of institutional as well as legislative reform actions to transform the criminal justice sector. This includes strengthening of consultative platforms such as the National Council on the Administration of Justice, whose core purpose is to ensure a coordinated, efficient, and effective approach in the administration of justice. In addition, governance reforms targeted at key public sector institutions have also been identified as a critical multiplier. Countries with weak governance systems have experienced increased incidences of corrupt officials turning a blind eye to transnational organized crime activity. Kenya has thus identified corruption as a critical national security threat and required is continuous monitoring and reporting as part of the national security architecture. Additional considerations that are significant in our endeavors include cooperation in the area of border security and the deliberate effort to enhance public awareness on transnational crime as a national security threat in order for us to be able to enlist our citizens' participation. Ladies and gentlemen, these efforts would be greatly enhanced if implemented through joint regional platforms. Noting the evolving nature of transnational crime, a regional approach to planning, budgeting, and execution of jointly agreed measures would significantly improve the efficiency of our response actions. We need to continuously interrogate our laws to ensure that they are fit for purpose and capable of cross-country implementation. And I'm glad that this conference has provided an avenue to discuss these matters and to ensure that criminals do not use our borders as a shield against justice and accountability. Within our own East African community, harmonization of laws relating to illicit financial flows have thus far facilitated the surrender of seized gold here in Kenya back to Tanzania, to mention but just one example. Such measures will enhance the East African region's strategy for combating money laundering, countering terrorism financing, and countering the proliferation of cross-border crimes. Our cooperation and collaboration with each other should lead to increased mutual legal assistance and extradition requests, as well as enhanced formal and informal channels of communication for efficient and effective investigation and prosecution of transnational organized crimes. Additionally, sharing of information and intelligence among law enforcement agencies should also be strengthened through the establishment of a regional database. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I want to once again thank the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. I want to thank the Indian Ocean Prosecutors, the East African Association of Prosecutors, for graciously hosting this conference. May this assembly be one that leads all of us to build a long-term strategy for dismantling criminal enterprise and create a platform for a crime-free future. And I conclude by saying, ladies and gentlemen, that any system is as good as the people who run it. And as we look at ourselves, we must also look at ourselves from a point of integrity. Because yes, we are prosecutors, we are magistrates, we are presidents, but do we do as we say, or do we say and do and close our eyes when it's... Anyways, I don't want to go there. Because you know what I'm trying to say. We can only be as good as we are. So mine is to pray that we become people of integrity. Because without integrity, you cannot uphold a criminal justice system. Without integrity in prosecutor's office, you cannot deal with the issue of corruption. Without integrity in our courts, without integrity in our government officials and civil servants and politicians, you will not succeed in this battle. Integrity is the key. And we need to be able to look at ourselves straight in the eye. You know, you are independent, but I'm sure you should be able to tell this man if you think he is corrupt. Mwambie. Yeah. You know me, if I say, he'll say I'm interfering in his office. But your colleague can tell you. You see? And then judges also look at each other in the eye. You know each other. You know what you do. Yeah? Don't hide behind your independence. You know, talk to each other. That's part of learning. If you know your colleague is also not following the right path, it's your responsibility to point them out. Anyway, I wish you all the very best. I know you will succeed in your endeavors, and may this assembly be one that leads us to build together a long-term strategy, as I said, on how we shall work together, how we shall succeed in this battle together. And ladies and gentlemen, this is not only important, but it is a must if our continent of Africa is to achieve sustainable and equitable social economic development, and indeed to truly join the League of Developed Nations with an honest, transparent, judicial and legal system. May God bless you all. Thank you very much.
I think, Your Excellency, with your permission, we'll have some photos outside. And I'll ask you to orderly go outside on the left and assemble the photos. Thank you, Excellency.
They came, saw and scored their way to the DFB Pokal final. Germany's valiant rivals, SC Freiburg and RB Leipzig, are a heartbeat away from lifting the ultimate trophy of which none has ever won. SC Freiburg are still hopeful of winning their first major title in club history. Meanwhile, RB Leipzig have reached 2 of the last 3 DFB Pokal finals, losing 3-0 to Bayern Munich in 2019 and 4-1 to Dortmund in 2021. It is therefore a moment of truth for these finalists.
So 5 from 6 this season.